Taylor's graduate capabilities. Past achievement is but an indicator of future potential. Today's presentation comprises 3 parts. First, we will look at why Taylor's needs the Graduate Capabilities Initiative. The second section will look at the details of the identified Taylor's graduate capabilities. The third section will look at how the Taylor's graduate capabilities are integrated within the teaching and learning philosophy of Taylor's University College, as well as all TUC degree-level curricula. There is a current worldwide drive to review and revamp university-level education. There are 2 main directly relevant issues. The first is the trend towards privatization and the new role of students as customers. The second is the trend towards globalization and its challenge not only to produce globally competitive graduates, but also to compete for students at an international level. Worldwide responses to these issues have varied in form but are similar in their essence, with that essence being to acknowledge that university education needs to prepare its graduates for success, and also to identify key qualities, abilities, and skills that define the successful graduate. The Association of American Colleges and Universities emphasizes that learned skills should be adaptable to solving problems at work. In line with this, a set of essential learning outcomes has been identified to provide a framework to guide students' progress from school through college. The British equivalent of this emphasizes employable skills that should be acquired during the course of an undergraduate education. Australia's initiative has been more thorough in that its Business and Higher Education Roundtable has spearheaded a nationwide effort to incorporate these concepts directly within the curricula of the different universities. On the local front, Malaysian universities have yet to explicitly incorporate these ideas. The value in incorporating these concepts lies, however, in its purposefulness being made known from the very beginning. The time is right. Taylor's is now a university college. Integrating Taylor's graduate capabilities TUC-wide reinforces TUC's position, not only by strengthening its academic curricula and environment, but also by being seen to be doing so. Where institutions can present credible information about their commitment to developing qualities in graduates, and students can provide evidence of the attainment of these qualities, both the institution and its students will be advantaged in the buyer's market for graduates. What kind of individual is most likely to succeed in life? What role does tertiary education have to play in the formation of such an individual? These are 2 soul-searching questions that have to be comprehensively and coherently answered when reinventing our institution and ourselves in terms of our tertiary teaching and learning philosophy. The first step in our methodology in drawing up our list of Taylor's graduate capabilities was to identify success and to draw up a comprehensive criteria defining the successful graduate. This was collated against information from studies on employer expectations across 4 continents, taking into consideration the concept of multiple intelligences. The next step was to identify the meaning of all key words that were used to define the successful graduate, and it was found that a broad dichotomy in terms were generally used in relation with similar projects. The major distinction was that certain terms described inherent qualities or who we are, while other terms described learned skills or what we can do. The list of graduate expectations were narrowed to exclude inherent qualities which were not directly achievable through university education. Finally, values identified as important by TUC were collated against the generalized list of graduate capabilities to arrive at the definitive description of Taylor's graduate capabilities. Underlying beliefs and assumptions were also articulated. Considering the meanings of different key terms, it is most apt to use the term capabilities when defining the list of TUC's expectations of its graduates. This term is realistic and reasonable. By using it, TUC effectively states that TUC graduates have been taught and trained and have proven themselves to be able to do what is listed, and to presumably be capable of doing so again in future work-related contexts. The term capabilities is precise as well as accurate, and its use reflects well upon the integrity of TUC as an institution. The Taylor's graduate capabilities are defined in a single-page document consisting of 3 sections: a preamble, the actual listing of the specific capabilities of Taylor's graduates, and the epilogue. The preamble simply states that the teaching and learning approach at Taylor's University College is focused on developing the Taylor's graduate capabilities in its students, capabilities that encompass the knowledge, cognitive capabilities, and soft skills of our graduates. In terms of discipline-specific knowledge, our graduates have a sound understanding of foundational concepts and theories in their subject area. Taylor's graduates learn autonomously and are able to acquire and manage information and to comprehend a wide variety of literature. They are also aware of contemporary global issues. All these provide the foundations and skills for lifelong learning. Taylor's graduates also have excellent problem-solving skills. This includes the ability to define issues and problems well, to analyze problems comprehensively, to apply knowledge effectively and theory to practice, and to arrive at workable and effective solutions. Taylor's graduates are assured of competency in 5 areas of soft skills. The first of these are communication skills. Interpersonal skills are also developed at Taylor's. Intrapersonal skills, including the ability to manage time effectively and to understand the role of personal image and professionalism at work, as well as to work independently in the context of tasks to be completed, are guaranteed. Taylor's graduates also display cosmopolitan thinking and have intercultural competence. They are also technology savvy. The learning environment at Taylor's is further geared towards nurturing the Taylor's core values, the personal attributes of excellence, integrity, passion for work, interpersonal respect and care, openness and communication, and a healthy balance between professional and personal life. Through participation in various optional electives, including co-curricular activities, Taylor students may also develop additional knowledge, cognitive capabilities, and soft skills other than those listed. These, as well as the Taylor's graduate capabilities above, are recorded by students in the form of individual student portfolios. At Taylor's, we believe that tertiary education is fundamental in developing human resource, and that it is also capable of equipping individuals with both discipline-specific as well as generic abilities. The Taylor's graduate capabilities are based on 3 basic assumptions. First, that the student goal is employability. Second, that students are motivated to learn. And third, that all individuals are equally able to achieve the desired abilities. Let us examine each of these assumptions in turn. Perhaps not everyone wants a degree to become employable. Some may opt for postgraduate study, while others may prefer to start their own business. In these cases, the Taylor's graduate capabilities are still relevant, but additional qualities will be needed for success in either of these arenas. The vast majority of undergraduates in Malaysia do, however, go on to join the workforce directly, so our first assumption that the student's goal is employability would seem to be valid. The second assumption is that students are motivated to learn, but this may not be true of all students. Self-motivation is a fundamental quality without which the other qualities may be difficult or impossible to develop. This issue cannot be addressed within the curricula, though, and remedial measures such as counseling and other student support services must be in place. The third assumption is that all individuals will be equally able to achieve the desired abilities. But in reality, individuals have varying capacities for learning and achievement. The Taylor's graduate capabilities does not discount these differences, but rather offers a baseline set of capabilities that potential employers can count on from TUC graduates. The Taylor's graduate capabilities essentially provides assurance of TUC graduates' competence in all areas listed, and it acknowledges that some graduates will achieve higher levels of proficiency in some or all areas, and a smaller proportion will be truly adept, again, in some or all areas. This assurance upholds the integrity of the TUC brand. The third assumption is also the reason why inherent qualities such as true creativity, innovation, entrepreneurial spirit, real leadership, integrity, and authenticity have not been included in the list of Taylor's graduate capabilities. It would be impossible for TUC to guarantee that each and every one of its graduates possess all these essentially inherent qualities. So by restricting the list of Taylor's graduate capabilities to achievable as well as verifiable capabilities, the Taylor's graduate capabilities remains highly applicable in the context for which it is designed. TUC degree curricula are designed to integrate the Taylor's graduate capabilities. The development of each capability is mapped over the entire program of study through the use of carefully planned progressive learning outcomes for each individual subject. The expectations for the Taylor's graduate capabilities within each academic year of a program are stated. Individual student portfolios map their development of Taylor's graduate capabilities. The central focus of our teaching and learning philosophy is on developing the complete set of Taylor's graduate capabilities in all students. This goal aligns itself naturally with the concept of student-centered learning. Students also need to develop an explicit understanding of their own approach to learning, and this is intentional learning. Graduate capabilities are best developed when they're embedded in the process and content of learning. Our teaching and learning approach has 4 focus points. The learning environment is based on constructivist principles, in other words, student-centered learning. Learners actively manipulate the objects and tools of the trade and learn by reflecting on what they have done. Learners build on what they already know. Learners exploit each other's skills while providing social support and modeling and observing the contributions of each member. The constructivist classroom is highly conversational. Learners are required to articulate their actions, decisions, strategies, and answers. Knowledge and skills are taught as in real life. Problems tackled within the class are complex, real-world problems. And finally, learners are aware of what it is they are trying to achieve. Bloom's revised taxonomy table ensures that every subject syllabus is aligned to the overall goal of developing the Taylor's graduate capabilities. By plotting out the objectives for an entire subject, this table ensures that all levels of the cognitive process are used and that students learn different types of knowledge. Using such detailed objectives helps students to understand the purpose of each activity by clarifying the student's activity, and this is consistent with our intentional learning approach. The learning process is a spiral. Learners continually reflect on their experiences, gaining complexity, depth of understanding, and increasingly strong abilities to integrate new information. The gains in learning and broadening scope of the learner are reflected by the increasingly large spirals as learners assess and reassess their ideas on a specific topic. As learners increase in maturity, they progress from a willingness to listen to taking an active part in learning to ultimately internalizing what has been learned. Our learning strategies are based on cognitive flexibility theory. This states that knowledge that will have to be used in a large number of ways has to be organized, taught, and mentally represented in many different ways. This is also consistent with the diversity of learners and learning styles. In order to assess the full range of essential learning outcomes that we have defined in the form of our Taylor's graduate capabilities, Authentic assessments as well as student portfolios are employed in addition to timed tests and exams. Teaching staff need to be trained in methods of assessment, including how to set test questions to accurately assess students, as well as how to design rubrics for authentic assessment purposes. In conclusion, we can say that the Tailored Graduate Capabilities Initiative is timely, it is achievable, and it provides a competitive edge to TUC and its graduates.